What if I told you there's this hidden engine that basically powers all of science? A system of gatekeepers who decide what research actually gets to see the light of day. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most crucial and, yeah, sometimes controversial processes in all of research: peer review. I mean, think about it. The last time you saw a headline about some huge scientific breakthrough, did you ever stop and wonder how we actually know this is legit? What's the thing that separates a Nobel winning discovery from a study that's just, well, flawed or maybe even fake? The answer, it turns out, is a formal, structured process. It's a system that's designed to be that gatekeeper, to check the quality of the work, and to build the very foundation of trust that all of science really relies on. And that process is called peer review. It sounds complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It's when a piece of scientific work gets sent to a group of other experts, the author's own peers, who then evaluate its methods, its logic, its conclusions, all before it ever gets published. They're basically the referees in the game of research. But, this highly organized system wasn't just born overnight. The way we validate science has this really fascinating history. It evolved from little more than an editor's personal whim into the global standard we have today. So let's take a quick trip back in time. Back in the 17th century, when the first scientific journals were popping up, editors just published what they thought was interesting. Simple as that. Then, through the 18th and 19th centuries, research just exploded, and editors started asking for some informal opinions from other experts. But the real game changer? That came after World War II. Science was expanding like crazy, and journals needed a formal filter. And that's when the modern systematic peer review process was born. And now, in the 21st century, the digital age is pushing that evolution even further, with a huge demand for more transparency and more fairness. Okay, so that's the history. But why is this process so absolutely critical today? It's so much more than just an academic hurdle. It's really the foundation of scientific trust, and it's built on four key pillars. First off, it's all about ensuring accuracy and credibility. Second, it acts as a filter, to weed out the weak or flawed studies. Third, and this one is so important, it actually makes the research better through all that reviewer feedback. And finally, when you put all that together, it builds trust. Without peer review, science pretty much loses its authority. All right, so we get why we need it, but how does it actually work in practice? Because it's not a one-size-fits-all system. There are three main models that are used today, and the key difference between all of them really just comes down to one simple question: who knows who? And each model has this really interesting trade-off. So in a single blind review, the reviewer knows who the author is, but the author has no idea who's reviewing them. This allows for some pretty direct criticism, but it also opens the door to potential bias. Then you have double blind, where both sides are anonymous. This is great for reducing bias, but let's be honest, sometimes an author's identity can still be guessed. And finally, there's open review, where everybody knows each other. This brings total transparency, which is awesome, but there's a real risk that reviewers might soften their critiques to avoid, awkwardness or conflict. But the evolution doesn't stop there. Not at all. The world of science is always changing, and so the peer review process is adapting right along with it. We're seeing all these new trends and innovations pop up to meet the demands of modern research. And some of these new models are really exciting. You've got post-publication review, where the scientific community gets to weigh in after a paper is published. There's also collaborative review, where a bunch of experts actually work together to create a single unified report. And maybe the most futuristic one of all, AI-assisted review, is now using technology to spot stuff like plagiarism, data errors, and even totally fabricated results. It's a whole new world. So when you pull it all together, what's the big takeaway here? The crucial point is that peer review isn't just one thing. It's this system that has grown and evolved from a simple little editorial check into a complex, global process that underpins the credibility of pretty much all the science we rely on every single day. And the models we use today, single blind, double blind, and open, they all highlight this really fundamental trade-off. It's a constant balancing act, right, between the need for unbiased, brutally honest critique on one side and the push for transparent accountability on the other. So this leaves us with a really big question for the future. As science becomes more collaborative, faster, and way more open, which review model do you think is going to best serve it? Is it one of the ones we have now, or maybe something totally new? It's a huge debate happening right now in the heart of the scientific community, and it's going to be fascinating to see where it goes. Thanks for diving into this with me.